there. Huh. Wonder what's going on here. Is that just because? Weird. It's like it's a different color or something. I actually want that a little bit higher. Okay, but anyway, that's Tiny Game 3. That's Brick Breakers. I am going to release that pretty soon. I'll release that as soon as it's play tested. So I have 2 play testers. If anyone is interested in play testing this game, please let me know.
If anyone is interested in playtesting this game,
we need to get it
please
play
let me know.
tested on several different computers. I mean, even if it winds up running fine on mine at the end and I don't see any issues, that's not good enough because I need other people from different perspectives with different machines, right? So, yeah. Okay, let's fart around in Unreal Engine. Let's make sure everything's running fine. I'm going to minimize anything that doesn't need to be maximized. Okay, like that. This has to be on. Oh, somebody's got a Pac-Man. The Pac-Man ghosts. I think that's Brooke. Okay, now we're going to open up Tiny Game 4. Tiny Game 4. I don't know if we've checked it in yet, but here, let's take a look and see what we're doing here with get status. We created the map, that's right. Okay, so we'll add that, and then we'll get to commit added the main map for the game, which is called Fire Maze main. Here we go. Okay, there, committed. Okay, this is a different version of Unreal Engine. This is 5.1. The one that we built the Brick Breakers in was 5.03, and I think 5.03 has some issues. 5.01 seems more stable. Okay, now we're going to open up the tutorial that we were using. And that's in Udemy. Oh shit! That's the wrong one. Udemy, the Complete Beginner's Course. This is the one that we were doing. David Nixon is the author of this. Okay. And we've gone through Section 1, Section 2, and Section 3, and I've gone through all this again on my own, but where it says tutorial, that's where we actually build the game. You know, there's one complete game that we build in this tutorial, but he teaches us a lot more than just building a game. You know, and that's what all these other objects are. Hey, Brian Cummy. Hey man, hope you're doing great.
Elder Colvey House said, "Hey Brian."
Okay, so let me just go through this tutorial again, and I'll show you how we started the game.
This will be the first video in a series of tutorial videos in which we will create an entire sample game from scratch. So if you want, go back to Lecture 1 to see a demonstration of the completed game. And it's important that you only use the project you create in this lecture for the tutorial lectures. If you like to follow along with the editor open during the other lectures, you should make sure to have a different project open then, so you don't accidentally make unwanted changes to your tutorial project. Alright, so in this video, we will be creating a new project and a new level, and we will be constructing the sky for our level. So we're going to create the sun, a blue sky, and some clouds. Alright, so let's get started. So if you don't already have it open, start the Epic Games Launcher and then launch the engine. Or if you already have the editor open, go to
what's
File,
weird is
New
that
Project.
he has a
Either way, you want to get to the New Project window
blank,
of the Unreal Project browser.
he's actually
Choose
using
the
an
blank
earlier
template
version
blueprint.
of Unreal Engine.
Make sure the
for
options
this.
Desktop and Maximum are selected, and that the Starter Content option.
So I think he's using 5.01 or 5.02, but there's no way to tell exactly from his screen. But we're using 5.10, and I think that's why we don't get a... Yeah, see, because I only created one level right here, Fire Maze main, and that's the level you see here.
And it's checked. give the project a name, then click the Create button. And then it usually takes a while for the engine to create a new project, so don't worry if it looks like nothing is happening for a minute. Okay, so now go to File, New Level, and select Empty Level. And this will give us a completely black empty level.
Oh, okay.
Then
so
go to the Create
normal.
menu
Yeah.
and click on Place Actors panel.
That's
We're
what
going to be using a lot of the built-in actors in our tutorial game, so keeping this panel docked will make adding those actors easier. Okay, so now go to the Visual Effects category, and then drag and drop a sky atmosphere into the viewport.
We already did all this.
Now go to the Lights category, and drag and drop a directional light into the viewport. Use the text box at the very top of the Details panel to change the name of the actor to Sunlight.
You know, we might not have done that. I did. Yeah, see, Sunlight. So the first thing he did is drop a sky atmosphere, and then he also dropped a, I'm actually gonna organize these better. See, so environment. This is all environment stuff, so this should go in that folder. There we go.
In the Transform category, set the mobility of the light to movable.
Oh. Yeah, movable.
Okay, so now set the rotation of the light to 0, -70, and 0. This will make the sun slightly off-center in the sky, similar to
Slightly off-center in the sky, and yes, it is. Good.
what you might see around 11 a.m. or 1 p.m. This will give objects that we add to the level a slight shadow. Now, go to the Visual Effects category of the Place Actors panel, and add a volumetric cloud actor to the level. This will add some realistic-looking clouds to the sky. Now, go back to the Lights category, and add a skylight to the level. This will add indirect lighting to the level and make it look more realistic.
Right.
Then, under the Light category of the skylight, enable the Real-Time Capture property.
Skylight, real-time capture, and we got it. And I'm not... He'll
This will
explain
link
why.
the skylight to our sky atmosphere and volumetric cloud actors, which will improve their lighting.
Right.
Alright, so now we have this nice looking sky in the top half of our level, but the bottom half is still this black void. Normally, this black area is where the landscape would go, but we're going to be constructing a plain area that will appear to be like an island floating in the sky. And I think it would be cool if it looked like this island was so high up in the air that you couldn't even see the ground below. So to achieve this effect, we need to make this black area match the rest of the sky. So there are a couple ways we could do this. We could use a sky sphere, but the sky sphere actor doesn't work well with the sky atmosphere and volumetric cloud actors, so instead we should use an exponential height fog actor. So go to the Visual Effects category, and then add one to the level. Alright, so as you can see, this has fixed the problem, and the bottom half of the level is now blue instead of black, and it looks more like we are floating high up in the sky.
Let's see if that's true, and it is true, pretty much. See, we added the exponential height fog right there. Whoops, not under there. At the bottom. Bottom. I don't think you can. I think it orders it.
But this has also added some fog to the level, of course. So go over to the Details panel and set the fog density to
0.0001. Let's make sure that's true. Yep, we did.
0.0001. We don't want to set it all the way down to 0, or that will change the horizon back to black. Alright, so everything looks good here, so let's go ahead and save this to make sure we don't lose any of our hard work. So you can either press Ctrl-Shift-S, or go up to the File menu, and choose Save All.
Okay,
This
we've
will
already
prompt you
done
to
all
save
this.
window, right-click, and select New Folder. The window, name the level Demo Level.
He says my
Then
content,
press
but
Enter,
no,
or click on the Save
I
button.
do it differently.
Okay, and now that we've saved our level and have given it
put
a
it
name,
in
go to the Edit menu,
maps, and that's why I
select
call it
Project Settings.
maps instead.
Then go to Maps and Modes. On this screen, change the Editor Startup map and the Game Default map to the demo level that we just saved. This will make demo level the default level for this project,
Yep, we've
and we'll cause
already
it to
done
load
that.
automatically. Now our level has a nice looking sky, and in the next video we will start constructing the actual plane area.
Okay, so this is what we're ready to actually start building the meat of the game. So here it is.
For each of the actors. So this will make things go
Oh shit. Okay, we're going to drop it down to
In
one
this
speed.
tutorial, we're going to construct the plane area for our game, using brushes, meshes, and materials. Now, I want to point out that level design normally involves a lot of trial and error in order to line up your actors just how you want them and to get everything correctly placed. So it's normally a very time-consuming process. So in order to save some time, I went ahead and designed this level myself ahead of time and wrote down the coordinates for each of the actors. So this will make things go a lot faster and will ensure that there aren't any discrepancies between your level and my level.
Okay, so we'll match his level
first,
for now.
go up here and use this button to toggle grid snapping off.
Okay.
This will allow us to place our actors wherever we want. Now, select the Geometry tab in the Place Actors panel. Add a box brush to the level.
Okay.
And rename it Ground 1.
Ground 1. Fine.
In the Transform...
So there's the Place Actors panel is right here, and then the brushes are actually right here. See, their geometry are the brushes, and then there it is. And then what did he call it? Ground 1. Okay. Ground 1. Good.
Category. Change the location of the brush to 0, 0, -5. In the brush settings category, use the X, Y, and Z properties to change the size of the brush to 2800 by 5000 by 10. Alright, so because our ground has a thickness of 10, if we were to put its location on the Z-axis at 0, it would actually stick up 5 units in the Z direction, meaning the top surface of the brush would be at location 5 along the Z-axis. So in order to get the top of our ground flush with 0 on the Z-axis, we need to set its Z location to -5. So that's why we did that.
That's why we did that.
Now, click on the button in the top left corner of the viewport that currently says Perspective, and change that to an orthographic top view. This way, we can see the layout of our level from a bird's eye view.
Or we could just do
Scroll
this.
down on the mouse wheel to zoom out, and right-click and drag the mouse to pan the view. Add another box brush to the level, and name it Ground 2.
How screwy.
Change its size
Hang
to
on a minute.
2800
That is dumb
by
that you
10,000
that you can't reach this if you
by
don't
10.
do that. Okay,
Now
now what was he doing?
Change its size to 2800 by 10,000 and name it Ground 2. And the view. Add another box brush to the level and name it Ground 2. Change its size to 2800 by 10,000 by 10. Now, we want to line up Ground 2 with Ground 1. Change its size to 2800 by 10,000 by 10.
Hang on.
Now,
What the fuck is wrong with this thing? I feel like it's ready to crash. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to click it and nothing's happened. 2800 by 10,000 by
we want to
10.
line up Ground 2 with Ground 1 along the X-axis and Z-axis. So change Ground 2's X location to 0 and its Z location to -5. Now, change the Y location to 8700. This will create a 12-meter gap between Ground 1 and Ground 2, which is what we want.
Oh, okay.
Now, let's add a material to our ground objects so that they look more like actual ground. First, go back to Perspective View. Zoom out until you can see the top of both Ground 1 and Ground 2. In the Content browser, browse to Content, Starter Content, Materials. Then locate the M Ground
Wait
Grass
a minute.
material.
Something's wrong again. I think he wanted us to make this also 10. Let's see, is that true? Oh, and if anyone's here, please say hi and tell us what you're doing for Christmas. I know these, this is probably an unusual stream for most people, and Most folks aren't used to me streaming this late, but I thought it would be fun to do a game dev, my first game dev stream like this late at night, just to see how things go. Okay. Let's make sure that that was true. Yeah, he wanted us to set it to 10 as well. Okay.
Zoom out until you can see the top of both ground 1 and ground 2. In the content browser, browse to Content, Starter Content, Materials. Then locate the M ground grass material. Drag and drop this material onto the top surface of both ground 1 and ground 2.
Okay.
Press Ctrl-Shift-S or click File, Save All to save your work. Now we are going to add a player start actor to the level so we can define the location the player should start from when the level begins. Go to the Basic category in the Place Actors panel and drag a player start actor into the level. Set its location to 0, -2300, and 100. Set its rotation to 0, 0, 90. Now, press play on the toolbar to see the perspective from which the player will start the level. It will start at one end of the 15-meter long ground 1. Then there will be a 12-meter gap, followed by 100 meters of ground 2. Now we will add some walls to enclose our playing area. But this time, we will select the material first so that it will be automatically added to every surface of the actor. So go back to the materials folder if you're not already there, and select the M brick cut stone material. Now go back to the geometry category in the Place Actors panel and drag another box brush into the level. Notice that it already has the material applied to all sides. Rename the box Left Wall.
Left wall.
Change its size to 100 by 16,200 by 400. Change its location to 1350.
Whoops, I screwed up. 100, 16,200, and 400. Hope everyone's doing great in the chat room, by the way. Feel free to say hi, don't be shy.
Elder Colvey House said,
and also, we have a text-to-speech converter too. So anything you say also gets converted to text. I mean to speech. Okay, and then
5,600 and 200. Now, to make the wall for the other side, we could go through all these steps again. Or we could just make a copy of this wall and save a lot of time. So with the Alt button held down, grab the red arrow of the left wall and drag it towards the other side of the playing area.
There.
Name this copy Right Wall. Now all we have to do is change its X location to -1350.
There it is.
Okay, so now add another box brush and rename it Bottom Wall. Change its size to 2,600 by 100 by 400 and its location to 0, -2450, and 200. Now hold down the Alt button and drag the green arrow of the bottom wall to make a copy. Name this actor Top Wall.
Okay.
Change its Y location to 13,650. Alright, so now we have defined the bounds of our level and have a fully enclosed playing area. In the next video, we will add the internal structures of our level.
There it is. Not too hard, huh?
Fence for one of the houses.
This is a rather simple, like a simple game, but the important thing is that we're learning the basics. shows off the basics of the engine, and it also shows that you can build a game from just primitives right from the starter content. Okay, now we're going to build the inner structures of the level. That's going to take 14 minutes. Wow.
In this video, we will add the internal structures for our level, including walls, platforms, and houses. First, let's add the inner walls. Go to the Materials folder in the Content browser, and select the M Cobblestone Rough material. Drag a box brush into the level, and rename it Low Wall Bottom Left.
Okay.
Change its size to 800 by 200 by 200. And change its location to 900, 5900, and 100. Hold down the Alt key and drag the red arrow of the wall to make a copy. Rename it Low Wall Bottom Right. Change its X location to -900.
Got it.
Now, hold down the Alt key and drag along the green arrow of this wall. Rename the copy Low Wall Top Right.
I screwed up.
Change its X size to 1200.
Nope. Hang on.
Change its X location to -700.
Wait a minute, pig.
Now, hold down the Alt key and drag along the green arrow of this wall. Rename the copy Low Wall Top Right. Change its X size to 1200. Change its X location to -700. And its Y location to 8500.
There.
Hold down the Alt key and drag the red arrow to make a copy of this wall. Rename it Low Wall Top Left. Change its X location to +700. And now save your work. So now we have these walls here. In this gap, there will be an enemy going back and forth this way.
Got it.
And in the narrower gap, there will be an enemy going back and forth this way. Okay, so now let's make the platforms of blocks that will be used to jump over the fire right at the beginning of the level. With the M Cobblestone Rough material selected, add a box brush to the level and rename it Platform Block 1.
Okay.
Change its size to 100 by 100 by 100. Change its location to 0, -750, and 50. Hold down the Alt key and drag the green arrow to make a copy of the block.
Well, where is it? Oh,
notice that it is automatically renamed Platform Block 2. Change its Y location to -650 to place it directly in front of Platform Block 1. Hold down the Alt key and drag the blue arrow of Platform Block 2 to make a copy. Change the copy's Z location to 150 to place it directly on top of Platform Block 2. Now we are going to group these three blocks. This will make it easier to move them all at once if we need to, and it will also make it easier to make a copy of all of them at once. First, select Platform Block 1 in the outliner. Then, holding down the Control key, select Platform Block 2 and Platform Block 3.
I already know this.
Now, press Ctrl G, or right-click the mouse and select Group from the menu. The blocks should now have green brackets surrounding them, indicating that they are in a locked group. Hold down the Alt key and drag the green arrow of the group of blocks to make a copy. Press the E key to switch to the rotation widget.
Wait, what did you say?
On the Alt key and drag the green arrow of the group of blocks to make a copy.
Oh, okay. So that makes a copy.
Press the E key to switch to the rotation widget. Manually rotate the group of blocks around the Z axis by clicking on the blue curve and dragging the mouse. A number will pop up showing you how many degrees you have rotated by so far. Rotate the blocks either 180 degrees or negative 180 degrees. Note that we had to rotate manually in order to rotate the group itself. If we had tried to set the Z rotation to 180 degrees in the Details panel, it would have rotated each of the blocks individually around their own axes.
Right.
Now, we want to create a gap of about 4 meters between the two platforms. Switch back to an orthographic top view. Make sure grid snapping is on, and the snap size is set to 10. Pan the view so that the blocks are in the center of the viewport. Then zoom in until the scale in the bottom left shows 1 meter and is the width of a single block of the grid. So now, to create a gap of 4 meters, we need to drag blocks 4, 5, and 6 until there is a distance of 4 grid lines between the two groups. Note that this top view is showing the level in the opposite direction than our player faces when starting the level. So blocks 4, 5, and 6 are the group at the bottom from this perspective. So drag that group by the green arrow until there are 4 grid blocks between the two groups. And now, turn snapping off again and switch back to perspective view.
No. That is not what we wanted. He told us to turn the snapping off, so as a result, we're now screwed. Yeah, he told us. Nice one, buddy. See, we can't just change it here either because it's all. I wish you could find out what. See, if I do snapping now, then it snaps based on where it is. So let's take a look at how he did it.
By the green arrow until there are 4 grid blocks between the two groups.
Well, we can fix it. We can fix it just by destroying this. Yeah, destroy. And I bet I destroyed the wrong one. Hang on. No, I destroyed the right one. Good. Okay, now we have the grid on. We don't have to do it just like he said. It would help, but we don't absolutely have to. There, see, we could just do that, and that's good enough.
And now, turn snapping off again and switch back to perspective view. Okay, so now let's give the player a reason to need to use these platforms and add some fire grid blocks between the two groups.
Until there are how many blocks?
There are 4 grid blocks between the two groups.
Okay, 4 grid blocks, fine. So I guess we have to do it his way. Fine. Fine. Okay, where's the, there we go. Okay, so 4 grid blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there. Okay, perspective. There we go. That's what he wanted.
And now, turn snapping off again and switch back to perspective view. Okay, so now let's give the player a reason to need to use these platforms and add some fire in the gap between them. Go to the Particles folder in the Starter content. Drag in a copy of the P-Fire particle system and place it between the two structures. Increase its scale by 4 overall. Now, use the Alt key to drag out several copies and place it between the two structures. Increase its scale by 4 overall. Now, let's give the player a reason to need to use these platforms and add some fire in the gap between them.
Okay, so fire
Go to the
time.
Particles folder in the Starter content. Drag in a copy of the P-Fire particle system and place it between the two structures. Increase its scale by 4 overall. Now, use the Alt key to drag out several copies of the actor to create a row of fire that stretches from wall to wall.
Wait, what did he say? A
by
P?
4 overall. Now, use the Alt key to drag out several copies of the actor.
So let's find out what its location is. I don't know why it says its location is 430, but... And then we're also going to give it a little variety too. See how... Hello? Fire 3. Let's do this. And then fire 2. This. And then we'll bring this up a little bit. And then do this. See, I'm just trying to add variety so it doesn't look like it's all the same. So it's exactly like it's all the same stuff. And then, again, here, we could even be really sinister. Yeah, we could be downright sadistic here. R, and then we'll bring this way up. And then we'll copy it so that it's also down here. Yeah, good. Destroy. And one more way over here. And then rotate so it looks different. There. Good. And this is the one that was... No. 330. Weird. How did that happen? 6, 3, 3, negative 330. Negative 280. Negative 330.50. Okay. Why so touchy? Are these all negative 50? No. 59. That should be 0. There we go. Yeah, some of these are just not that big because they were under the platform, and I don't know if he intended to do that, but let's give it a little more variety. See what I'm doing, and then shoop, and then let's duplicate that. And bring it down a touch. And we could even do this. Yeah, and then let's 6. Where's 6? Oh, way over there. Okay. There. Zero. Okay, I got it. There's our fire. So now what does it look like? Whoa. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. So apparently we're going to make the player jump over all this. Hey, wait, there's a gap here. I don't like that. Here, let's close the gap. Like that. D40. There. Okay, looks good. And then wall of fire. See what I'm doing, and then I'm putting all the fire into the wall of fire. So if I need to do any management, it becomes a lot easier. And then I might as well do this too. Outer walls. Let's say main walls. So then all the walls that we made so far. Those right there. There it is. And the ground group actor 0. Oh, okay. You don't have to do this, but see how it makes things a little easier. Just jumping blocks. And then all of the groups go in there. See, even the groups are its own little entry or its own asset. So it goes in there. See, now you can see that meshes. So the main walls are meshes, and the first jumping blocks are meshes. They're not exactly meshes, actually, but we forgot 2 of them. There. This thing is touchy. There we go. See, so we now organized everything, and there's 2 grounds, but I don't mind keeping the grounds just where they are. I hope everyone's doing great in the chat room. Yeah, this is a good place to just hang out if you just want to chill out for a little while. We're building a game. It's called Fire Maze, and it's based on a tutorial right in Udemy.
To create a row of fire that stretches from wall to wall.
Yeah. So we did that. We did exactly what he said. So, but I like mine better. Mine looks more deadly. Yeah. Okay, we got it.
Okay, and now the last thing we will do in this lecture is create the houses at the end of the level.
Oh, really?
First, we will construct the stone fence for one of the houses. Select the M-brick cut stone material.
Okay.
Drag a box brush into the level. And rename it House Fence Wall 1-1.
Name it what? House Fence Wall 1-1.
Change its size.
Okay. House Fence Wall. I don't know why he did that, but okay.
Size to 900 by 50 by 400. And its location to -850, 9,125, and 200.
Okay, let's see.
Drag
what it looks
another
like.
box brush into the level and rename it
okay.
House Fence Wall 2-1. Change its size to 50 by 1250 by 400, and its location to -425, 9,775, and 200. Drag another box brush into the level and rename it House Fence Wall 3-1. Change its size to 550 by 50 by 400. And its location to -725, 10,375, and 200. Okay, now that the fence is complete, we can start to build the house itself. Select the M basic wall material, drag a box brush into the level, and name it House 1. Change its size to 500 by 500 by 500 and its location to -850, 9,750, and 245. Set its hollow property to true so that the player will be able to walk around inside it. Now we need to add a doorway. Set the camera in the viewport so that it's facing the wall of the house that's on the opposite side of the gap in the fence.
Wait, what did you say?
Walk around inside it. Now we need to add a doorway. Set the camera in the viewport so that it's facing the wall of the house that's on the opposite side of the gap in the fence. Drag and
Kind of like this. Got it.
another box brush into the level and rename it Doorway 1.
Okay. Ta-da.
Change its brush type to subtractive. Change its size to 200 by 10 by 300 and its location to -850,
So it's going to cut.
9,500, and 150.
And there's our door.
Now we can start designing the inside of the house.
See.
Find the M wood floor walnut polished material in the materials folder and drag it onto the floor of the house.
Luckily, we have all these materials already. Well, that's too fast. Come on. There we go. Okay, now we can drag it. Yeah, we'll drag it right onto there. But it didn't do anything. Oh, there we go.
Now go to the props folder. Drag the SM chair mesh into the level.
Yeah, there's that chair again.
And rename it Chair 1.
Okay. There's that damn chair. Keeps popping up. I don't know why it looks like that. Okay.
Press the End key to snap the chair to the floor. Rotate it so that it's facing away from one of the corners and then move it into that corner.
Yeah, there we go. It's probably going to have us do the
Now
table.
drag an SM table round mesh into the level and rename it Table 1.
Plop.
Position it in the center of the room. Now, drag an SM lamp ceiling mesh into the level and rename it Lamp 1.
Hang on. I can't seem to
Attach it to
grab.
the middle of the ceiling.
There we go. Oh, he said lamp. Okay, fine. I don't know how we're going to attach it like that, but okay, let's do it. Attach it roughly to the middle. Okay, that looks about like the middle. Yeah. Okay. And then
Now, go to the Lights category of the Place Actors panel. Drag a point light into the...
Yeah, we're going to do a point light. There we go. Fine.
The level, and rename it Lamplight 1.
Now, what did he name the lamp, though?
Drag an SM...
That's funny. That's not what mine looks like at all. I don't know why his looks so different.
lamp ceiling mesh into the level, and rename it Lamp 1. Attach it to the middle of the ceiling. Now, go to the Lights category of the Place Actors panel, drag a point light into the level, and rename it Lamplight 1. Change its mobility to movable, and position it in the same place as the bulb of the lamp mesh. Zoom out until you can see the blue spherical radius of the light. Change its attenuation radius property to 500 so that the sphere is only slightly larger than the house. Okay,
Oops,
so now the house is complete. Now we are going to combine the house.
How did he do that so quickly?
1. Change its mobility to movable, and position it in the same place as the bulb of the lamp.
So now that indicates that it's movable. Can never seem to get this quite right. Wonder why. And then you could do this. You could also do bottom and then poop. I didn't want that. I wanted it to be right there. See, now the lamplight 1, I can position it so it's exactly no. Lamplight 1, not both of them. There we go. And we could also do this, so we can, so we make sure that it's top, and then there we go, that's what we're looking for. And then we'll know for sure that we've positioned it just below the light. Here it is. Okay, now if we go back to I don't know why it does this. It hides. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Perspective. See, now how do I get to the perspective button? It's hidden. I don't know why in God's name it does that. It really aggravates the poop out of me. But anyway, so back to perspective. And now you should see a light in there. Let's see if that's true. There we go. Yeah, looks good. Okay.
Mesh.
Yeah, in fact, we should also have that.
Zoom out until you can see the blue spherical radius of the light.
Doesn't make sense why it's doing that.
Change its attenuation radius property to 500 so that the sphere is only slightly larger than the house. Okay, so now the house is complete. Now we are going to combine the house, the fence, and the furniture into a single group, so we can make a copy of that group. So in the outliner, select Chair 1. With the Control key held down, also select Doorway 1, House 1, House Furniture into a singulation radius property to 500 so that the sphere is only slightly larger than the house. Okay, so now the house is complete. Now we are going to combine the house, the fence, and the furniture into a single group, so we can make a copy of that group. So in the outliner, select Chair 1.
Attenuation radius,
with the Control key held down, also select Doorway 1.
Oh, I see.
House
that
1.
Looks a bit better, doesn't it?
House fence wall 1-1, 2-1, fence, and the furniture into a single group, so we can make a copy of that group. So in the outliner, select Chair 1. With the Control key held down, also select Doorway 1, House 1, House fence wall 1-1, 2-1, and 3-1, lamp 1, lamp light 1, and table 1. Press Ctrl G to group the actors.
Okay, there's our group.
Switch to orthographic top view. Zoom out until you can see the entire house group and also the end of the level. Turn on snapping and set the snap size to 100. Hold down the Alt key and drag the green arrow to make a copy of the group. Position it so that there is roughly an equal amount of space between it and the first group and it and the wall at the end of the level. Hold down the Alt key again and drag the red arrow to make another copy of the group. Press E to switch the rotation widget and rotate the group 180 degrees. Press W to switch back to the translation widget and use the red arrow to move the group until the edge of the house fence is flush with the level wall. Hold down the Alt key and drag the green arrow to make the final copy of the house group. Position it so that it lines up with the first house group. Okay, so now turn snapping back off, switch back to perspective view, and save your work. And now, if you want, you can press the play button to fly around the level and take a look at your work.
Okay, we'll do that. Yeah, we're not bound to a player character yet, so we can do anything we want. There's our houses.
Alright, so now we are back in the lecture portion of the course. So if you still have the tutorial project open, go ahead and close that now so you don't accidentally make any unwanted changes.
Yep, there they are.
Okay, so for this lecture, I'm going to introduce you to the concept of blueprints. So blueprints are really cool because they basically blow the door wide open as to what you can accomplish with the open.
Okay, so that was the end of tutorial 3. These are useful tutorials, but they don't actually cover the game. So we'll go through a few of those, and then I'll end the stream after a bit. Because that was the main part that I wanted to do tonight. I wanted to get the ball rolling with the very first parts of the level. In fact, here, got time off. Why is real time off? Don't know what that was all about, but okay. So so we got at least the beginning of our level. We've got that built, we've got this built, we've got the walls built, we've got this, and this. Yeah, it's looking good. Oh no, is this correct? Yeah, it's right. That's how he wanted it. Okay, so now let's just take a quick look at what we've done in Git. So if we go to that folder, this is how I do it. Then I go Tiny Game 4, and then we git bash here. Let's look at all the assets we've changed. Yes. Good status. So the only thing we've changed is the map. We've used all of the materials and the props and everything that are already part of starter content, but we don't actually save that as part of our Git repository, because we can easily grab that and copy it back in. So git add start, and then git status to make sure it's ready to be committed. Commit n, built first part, built the basic level constructs by finishing the first 3 tutorials. First 3 tutorials in part what? You might as well say what part? Section 3. Right? Yeah. In section 3. Okay, good. And then you don't have to do this, but I like to push it at least a few times, and it pushes it to our repository on GitHub, and then specifically it pushes it here. TinyGame 4, and you'll see that we have, this is our repository, and if we go into content maps, we'll see there's our Fire Maze main map that was just updated now, and there it is, build a basic level construct. That's amazing. It even shows the things that have changed. Bin means binary file, so you can't see a diff. If you try to diff it, it won't diff, because it's a binary file. Okay, so let's just go through a few more of these tutorials and then we'll call it a night. But next stream, we're going to do tutorial 4, 5, and 6, where we build the elevator platform, create the enemies, and then create a rotating door. But to get there, he takes us through some of this stuff, which I think is cool. So let's just listen to what he says. And now for this, because we're not building the game, we should close it. And instead we have a different game. We have a different project where we learn his stuff. And it's called Test for TinyGame 4. That's what it is. Notice that we're also in Unreal Engine 5.1 for this one. Okay, so this is the test level that we were doing earlier. This is kind of cool, actually. I have these flashlights just dancing around on their own. I just wanted to see get an interaction going. And this is first person, so you see how you can see my character. Boom! Pretty cool, actually. And yes, they are casting shadows and everything too as they're doing that. I think they are. Let's see if we have the shadows on. Yes, we do. See, if you look closely, you'll see that they're all casting shadows. It's a little tricky on the graphics card. You need a good graphics card for this because it's 6 dynamic shadows. Lights that are all casting dynamic shadows. Okay, so back to, let's actually zap these. We'll zap all but one. There. So now it's not quite as hard on the graphics card. Except the rotating movement, pivot translation is a little wrong. Here. And I think if I hit it, it goes, yeah, I actually cause it to go flying over there.